Today you guys will be making candy hearts or conversation hearts using oil pastels and watercolor. So the first step is actually to draw your hearts on your paper, and you can use different colors. You want to leave a little bit of space between your hearts, but you can make them different sizes and different colors. You can also make them kind of go off the page in some spots if you'd like. You want to take your time, and the key here is to push down pretty hard when you're drawing so that your lines are really dark or bright. Probably don't want to use really light colors that are hard to see. So I'm going to make some smaller ones here that kind of go off the page. With oil pastels, if you run out of oil pastel, you just peel off a little bit of the paper, just like you would with a crayon. And so usually conversation hearts, so once you've finished drawing, you can write the messages on the conversation hearts. And if you think about those little Valentine's candies, they usually say something like, "Be mine," or "XOXO," something like that. And usually the writing is pink or red. You could use either one. So I'm going to press down hard, and I'm going to write my messages. I'm kind of tilting my paper so that I'm writing straight. Let's see. And you can make up your own messages too if you want to do something else. And some of them you might not be able to see all the letters on if you kind of cropped it off the page. So might just write part of the letters. Okay. So once you finish writing your messages, we are going to make the hearts look three-dimensional. So we're going to add a shadow to each one. And basically what you want to do is find a color. So on my heart here I used orange. So I want to find a color that is darker than the color I used. So I found this darker orange. And I want to pick one side. And on one side, I'm going to color. I want to try to keep it straight, but I want to color a thick, thick line just from the side down here. Now on this side, I want to add the same line so it looks like I can see the side of the heart there. And if you get out of the lines, just kind of go back over the edge and make that line really straight. And I'm just going to do this to all of my hearts. So each one I pick a darker color than the one I used. I make my thick line on one side, just one side. Don't want to go all the way around. And it doesn't quite look like a shadow. And then on that little part of the top there on the side, kind of on the side of the top. And I would just continue that until I have all of my shadows drawn. We do want to color it all the way in so you don't see any of the paper showing through. Now on the pink, I don't have a darker pink. So what I can do is use red. So if you can't find a color that's darker than the one you used, you can use one that's similar but different. And now I've got all my shadows done and I'm ready to start painting. So when we're ready to paint, we're going to be using these glittery watercolors. And With watercolor, we want to remember that we want to use mostly water. So we'll always start by getting our brush wet and then swirling it in the paint until the puddle in the paint turns the color we want. With these glittery watercolors, you do have to swirl a little bit longer. They're a little extra sticky. And then when you paint with them, you'll paint right over the oil pastel. Because the oil pastel is made from oil, it will resist or kind of push away the water, and your oil pastel will show through. So I'm kind of matching my colors. We want to make sure we keep the paints clean. We're swirling a long time. If you can see somebody kind of dripped it there, kind of will turn all our colors brown. So we want to swirl our paintbrush. And the glitter is kind of subtle. You'll see it mostly after it dries. I'm painting over. If you want to go back and add a second coat, you'll have to wait till the paint is dry. After we paint the hearts, we'll fill in the background and then we'll be done.